Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough for you guys that I want you to meet. His name is Trey Morrison. He's a cornerback out of Wingate University. Nice to meet you, sir.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me, Mr. Jimmy.
Sure, no problem. Again, a guy I feel like a lot of people need to know. Probably the best guy right now at his position in all of Division Two. Was an All-American last year and fixing to do it one more time and solidify himself as an NFL prospect this upcoming season. So, Trey, if you don't mind, set the stage, tell us where you're from, and just kind of start walking through your journey a bit.
Yes, sir. I'm Trey Morrison. For the people who don't know, I'm from Oaks Corner, South Carolina, a small town. So usually when I'm out of town or up here at school, I just tell people I'm from near Charleston, South Carolina, because that's what they're familiar with. And yes, sir. I came from Berkeley High School, a school that's really known for producing a lot of great athletes, not just football, baseball athletes, football, track and field stars. Had some people that go to, professional within their desired sport or whatever and things like that. So came from a pretty good high school that got me prepared for college and things like that. And going into my journey, coming out of high school, I wasn't really highly recruited. I had a couple of D1 offers from here and there, Presbyterian, Coastal Carolina, things like that. A lot of things didn't fall through, and then I took the D2 journey. But if for me, I kind of felt like it was the best because I always told myself I didn't want to go somewhere where I had to sit for about 2.5 years, 3.5 years, just to make an impact because I wanted to come in and just grow around guys who were already there, just be a sponge to them so that I could try to get on the field instantly. So coming to a smaller school actually worked out. And it was a blessing in disguise because I got to play my freshman year and I developed quicker than I would have me going to a bigger school. So that's just kind of my journey of how I got here. And so, yes, sir.
Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you kind of sharing that perspective because a lot of guys coming out of high school, like, dude, I understand everybody wants to go D1. I understand everybody wants to go Power Five. I understand that that's the way people want to do it, man, because like that's the dream way of getting it done. But that isn't the only route to get to the pros. I mean, I know as a kid, people dream about, playing in the NFL and stuff, but sometimes going D2, D3 isn't such a bad, route. So,
No, sir.
and it's actually treated you very well during your time. So,
Sir.
do you want to backtrack a little bit and just kind of chit chat about your time there at Berkeley High School? And so, I have in my notes that you're actually a pretty damn good track athlete, sir. So, in my notes, 10.8 100 meter. That's pretty legit speed. 22.3 200 and 49.2 in the 400. Those are some kick-ass numbers, man. So, talk to me about your track days. Like I know that it's been a while, but I mean, what do you remember most?
Um, well, I can start back from way when I was little. I used to run summer track, but back then I didn't know how it would translate to me playing football. So fast forward to about 10th grade, I started running track again because all the coaches were preaching run track to improve your speed, and I wasn't as fast as I would like. So I started running track and working out harder and harder on the track to see if it would translate, which it ultimately did. But I tell people all the time, the track workouts, like a track workout makes a football workout that much easier because of the nonstop running and the high intensity of the track workouts. So just preparing myself from 10th grade to 12th grade, I started seeing times reduced. I had some pretty good teammates that challenged me, like a DJ Chisholm, Antoine Coates. Those guys, like DJ Chisholm is a Middle Tennessee State receiver right now. So just he's a legit 10-4, 4-3, 40 guy. So just going up against those guys in practice and being on the relay with them, that really kind of challenged me to work hard every day, come in prepared and focused. And I have two of my sisters actually have a deep track background, like state champions. My one of my sisters went to UNC Charlotte, broke the hurdle record her freshman year there.
Wow.
So yeah, so track has just been in my family for a while, so it's kind of just like passed in.
That's fun to hear. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that and your family background. I think that that's great. Berkeley High School as a football player, I mean, obviously, I introduced you as a cornerback, but back in those days, I mean, were you only playing on the defensive side of the ball, or were you playing both ways back then?
Um, Back then I was only playing defense, but I really didn't have a like. I really literally played defense. I didn't have a set position. Like some games I might be at corner, some games I might be at free safety, some games I might be at strong safety, and some games I might be in the nickel. So that just helped me become the player I am today, just with being so versatile and using all my tools and skills that I instilled in myself and other people instilled in me throughout the time of me playing football. So just using that just helped me get to where I am today.
Cool. So, again, like you said, bounced around a little bit in that secondary during your time in high school, and then, of course, you go through the recruiting process. I mean, the recruiting process was kind of and then you of course land there at Wingate, and I'm pretty sure you're pretty happy about your situation there. So, um, talk to us about Wingate. For people who don't know about Wingate, obviously it's a D2 program, but it's in Wingate, North Carolina. So, when you step onto the campus there, when you talk to other people about Wingate, what makes it so special for you?
For me personally, what makes it so special is just the bonds you form when you get up here. Everybody up here is pretty much friendly. So in that regard, so I mean, from the advisors to the professors to the coaches to just your peers, like everybody's just so friendly and it's easy to get along with. Campus wise, I just feel like the type of guy I am. I'm a homebody, so I don't really care to be much on the scene, care to be much out partying and anything. That's not my type of scene. So in the college campus here is just so quiet and it's cool and it's calm. So that's just the type of environment I like to be in, somewhere smaller and somewhere just not as crowded. So
No, I hear you. Well, I mean, obviously you landed exactly where you needed to be. Really took your opportunities. You said you started early on there, didn't you?
yes, sir. I came in as a safety my freshman year, and long story short, a lot of injuries happened. Um, guys weren't producing, so I had to end up burning my red shirt.
Mm. So you end up coming in as a safety, but I mean, obviously I introduced you as a cornerback. How did that transition happen?
That just goes back to my high school days with me playing literally defense, like not a set position. It just gave me a lot of skills that I could use in different areas. So after my freshman year, I felt like I didn't want to play safety at this level. I felt like I wanted to explore my options and see where would the best fit would be for me ultimately. So the spring following my freshman year, I played about four positions like I did in high school. So I was just plugging into the defense, trying to learn the playbook still and get comfortable and play that corner. And I felt so comfortable out there. I was just like, I know if I keep working at it, I could be a playmaker out here. So I made the decision. My coach helped me, and then after that, the rest is history. I just started training and going harder.
Cool. Well, and nice to hear. So, um, Wingate's actually been doing pretty good for themselves over the past few years. I mean, I know last season y'all went very deep into the playoffs, which is fun, and really you were part of that run. I mean, of course, being one of these guys who can lock down his man throughout the entire season. I mean, is that kind of how you see yourself? I mean, I know sometimes people have this. I don't know, way of describing themselves as a corner, zone corner, man corner. How would you describe that and kind of your maybe your best attribute as a player? Is it that versatility or is it something else?
Um, I would consider putting my versatility in there, but when I describe myself, I just want to say I like to be a lockdown, but as something I tell myself a long time is that the IQ is what matters. Like the longer you play football and the higher the competition gets, it becomes less physical and what you can do physically, and it becomes more mental. So just using your IQ and to show how smart you are, it just sets you up to make a lot of plays and be in great positions. So I really take my IQ serious. So studying the game, knowing the game, and just anticipating things before it happens.
Gotcha. So talk about some of the other guys around you. I mean, obviously, maybe some guys that you play with on defense, but who there at Wingate do we need to know about right now?
Um, Jaquan Edwards. Jaquan Edwards is a linebacker. He's been with us for about 4 years now. He's got some accolades to his name, all region, all conference, was named to the D2 top 100 watch list. And I think he has an interview out as well with Draft Diamonds. But that guy is like, he's the heart and soul of our defense. Like the way he just brings everybody together, collect the troops, bring the energy on game day, and just leads by example. Like he's a great human to be around. Like he's going to challenge everybody to work. And I just like being with him. Like at summer workouts and stuff, he's just a guy you can just count on for motivation and good leadership.
Cool. Nice to hear that. I mean, I just kind of circling back around to you. I mean, of course, obviously you giving props to Daquan there as one of the leaders on the team, but I would imagine a lot of people look up to you as well as being one of the leaders. I mean, what is your take on that, being one of the leaders of that program?
Yes, sir. At a certain point in time, that's what it's all about. Like coming in as being a veteran, like when you come into college, you're the rook. So you want to have somebody in your corner. And I remember when I came in, I had guys who I could go to about anything, whether it was small or big. So just now in the position I'm in, I just try to be a guy who the young guys can come to, and like whether it be advice about a play, of what can they do, or things like that. I just try to help them out in any way I can because I know at the end of the day, it's just going to make everybody better. So I do pride myself on being a good leader now because I know most of the time that I'm a little bit older and I'm on the way out, so I can help these guys because I know more. I know more than them because I've seen a lot. I've been around a while, so I just try to pride myself on getting the young guys ready and helping them out with anything.
Sure, man. I mean, obviously you're the veteran right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of young guys around you that are going to look your way and say, hey, this guy is obviously doing it correctly. I mean, he's an All-American, looking back at last, year, man, you were like on every single one of them All-American lists. You had a phenomenal season, 5 interceptions, a boatload of PBUs. Um, when you look at like all the accolades that you've been able to attain, I mean, what are you most proud of?
Um, I wouldn't even say I'm most proud of the accomplishments. I'm just proud of me taking the road less traveled and making something out of nothing. Because most people, like you said, they always want to know the D1 route. They see the big schools and things like that, and just automatically think that's how it has to go. But for me, it was just like being different. Like it's okay to be different, and I like to be different. So just knowing that I'm at a D2 school, I'm at a smaller school, I might get overlooked. The competition is different. That just gave me a chip on my shoulder. So at the end of the day, the NFL picks they don't pick schools, they pick players. So if you're good enough, they'll find you. So you can never just like feel bad for yourself for not being D1 or anything like that. So it just give you that extra motivation and fire.
Yeah, one of the questions that I was going to kind of throw your way, and you may just answer the same thing that you had just said, but I mean, the tough, I guess, thing that people always label you with is, dude is just a small school athlete. I mean, and sometimes that just kind of labels you as a guy who's maybe not as good as these other people, which I know is a boatload of crap. So when someone tries to put that label on you and says, hey, this guy is just a small school athlete, he really hasn't played anybody, like, how does that make you feel? What is your response to that?
My response is probably none at all because at the end of the day, the work. Well, if you gotta trust yourself and the work that you put in, so everything you fall back to the level of your training. So no matter what caliber a guy is, whether he's D1, D2, D3, it all depends on the work he's putting in. So I could be a D1 guy or I could be a D2 guy, and the D2 guy could be outworking the D1 guy. So the level of like that just cancels out itself. And as far as the level of competition, you never want to rise or fall to the level of your competition. So for me, I just try to be even keeled and just treat everybody the same. Because at the end of the day, as a corner, you know that your technique is what matters the most. So whether you're guarding the best in the nation, whether you're guarding the guy not so good, like you just have to be so consistent with it. Like you can't just, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
No, I completely understand you. I mean, you have to go out there and be yourself each and every rep. Like you can't like adjust yourself or anything. That just kind of sounds silly, you know.
Yes, sir.
Anyhow, just kind of looking back at Wingate, I mean, 11-3 last year, man. You guys came very close to maybe even winning a championship there for Wingate University. I mean, again, like that literally like that close. I mean, what's it going to take for that team to, I don't know, really shock the nation and win a D2 national championship this season?
Last year was kind of the blueprint for how we want to be and be viewed as a team. So we want to come in every year being a contender, but to try to follow up that and try to win the championship and bring it home, we have to just lock in, not just defense as a whole. We have to lock in, come together as a team, build on some of those same principles and the standards that we set last year. Be coachable, most importantly. The coaches know best. They put us in the positions to make plays and do what we do. So we just have to come in day one and just 1% every day and build towards our goal.
Cool. Trey, I know you've been a part of a lot of great moments, a lot of great games. I mean, like I said, I mean, last year was great. The year before was pretty decent too. So, why don't you go ahead and share one of your maybe favorite moments out there for Wingate? I mean, maybe a game or even a specific play. Can you give me one of those? I mean, dude, you had 5 interceptions last year, so so talk to me about maybe one of them.
um, I say that Benedict game, when I got an interception, I say that's probably my favorite one because all week leading up to the game, we were watching a lot of podcasts, we were watching Twitter. A lot of people were counting us out because Benedict was undefeated, and they were saying Wingate is just they're banking on the defense, but they got a good offense. I think their defense going to get exposed. They haven't seen anybody like this or anything like that. So just kind of like we don't really get into the politics part, but just like sometimes as a player you can't help but the but give it a little look. So just knowing that we were underdogs coming into the game and that we went out there and performed like that. I know it's not a specific play, but just everything that happened in that game.
Oh,
Just
sure. I mean, you get counted out, you're the underdog, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them that you know, I can get it done, that I got the dog in me. That's the way that it is. So whether it's an underdog or not, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it and I'm gonna come out of this thing with a W.
yes,
So
sir.
love that, love that. Trey, I do want to get an opportunity to step off the football field and maybe get to know you a little bit. I mean, take off the helmet and meet you as a person. So, anything about you that you feel people need to know? I mean, anything interesting, fun, whether it be your hobbies or if you have any other passions in life. I mean, tell us something about yourself.
Well, first things first, I'm real big on family, and my family is real big on family. So we're just like a loving family. We like to bring people in from the community, like love on everybody like they're ours. So that's just how I was raised, like family first. And a lot of church going people, we do that. And so foundation is built on all of the right morals. My parents raised us the right way. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I have 3 older sisters. They're all doing well in life with kids. Some are married and things like that. For me personally, just watching them grow up and do all the things they did and having good parents and good role models in front of me just gave me a blueprint for life. So I'm just a young, respectful young man, built on manners. You can have all the talent in the world, but at the end of the day, if you don't know how to interact with people and talk to people and carry yourself in the right way, it won't matter. So I just try to do the small things right and just be a good guy for the most part. So
Hey, I definitely feel you there. I mean, that's kind of how you've come across this in this interview, and I've certainly enjoyed it so far.
yes, sir.
So this section right here, I kind of want to throw like a really quick question answer period. So again, this is
Yes.
just for fun, nothing's football related. So um, let's see here. Uh, maybe favorite snack food.
Ooh, favorite snack food. Mm, I like chips, Takis to be specific.
Say that again. What is that called?
Takis.
Oh, Takis. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Took me a second there to remember the spelling,
Not the
but
not the healthiest option, but I really love
hey, you gotta treat yourself every now and then. I
them.
can respect that one. Um, do you have any pets?
I don't. I'm
Okay,
not a real.
is that something that maybe you'd look to get down the line? I mean,
I've never really in my life I never had a pet. Like I don't know why, but it's just not. I guess I'm just not the type of guy to like.
Eh, they're a
Uh,
responsibility, man. You got to clean up
yeah.
after them and everything. So, I mean, I completely understand if that's maybe something that you haven't had an opportunity to do yet, but it's all good. How about favorite movie?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. That's definitely a fun one. Is there a TV show that you would say that I need to binge watch?
Um, I'm not sure if you watch Outer Banks.
I don't watch much these days, to be honest with you. Like, man, I'm stuck in a hole like all day
I
long.
I recommend Outer Banks on Netflix. It's a really good show, a series, and it had me hooked for a while.
All
So,
right. Cool. You collect anything?
um, I don't.
No? All right. Well, I mean, all you're doing is you're collecting interceptions. That's what you've been collecting these days. So, um, let's say, do you have a dream car?
I've always really liked. I don't know what they do to me, but I've always really liked Jeeps or Hummers.
Okay. Well, I mean, certainly, I mean, you can find yourself driving one of them things here very soon because I mean, dude, you're gonna, get in the pros here very soon, maybe make a little bit of money. The one thing that I was thinking though is you have football as your platform. Have you thought about maybe perhaps what you would do with it, like a charity or a cause?
My biggest, a couple of charities and things come to my mind. One thing I'm big about is just helping, like really trying to help people who can't do much for themselves. So that's one thing I want to do. And just with me being a criminal justice major and dealing with the law enforcement thing like that, I just want to try to find ways to reduce gun violence. I know that's not a charity, so my charity would probably be to help the people who can't help themselves. But just doing like more research and stuff, just trying to find ways to end gun violence.
Yeah, I mean, whether it be education or somewhere along the lines, I mean, I think that there's value to those sorts of things. So
Yes, sir.
appreciate that one. I know, obviously, we're talking from the framework of you getting into the league. I'm pretty sure that you also are a fan of some guys that are maybe in the league. So who are you maybe a big fan of? Somebody that maybe perhaps you watch who plays your position?
Um, I'm a real big fan of I'm gonna give you three names: J.C. Horn, Israel Mukwamu, and I like Sauce Gardner.
A lot of people are liking Sauce Gardner these days, man. I mean, still young, but he's gonna, be one of the best for years to come. Like as long as he
Yeah,
as long as he stays healthy, man. Like I think that, sky's the limit for him. So cool. Well, Trey,
so,
do you want to kind of wind our time down? This has been a very enjoyable time, just kind of chit chatting with you. I mean, I know that there's going to be some scouts at your games this season. People are going to be watching you from now until, well, you enter this draft, quite honestly. So, go ahead and talk to those guys right now. Tell them why you need to be drafted, signed, and a part of their franchise. So, close us with your pitch.
um, to sell myself, I mean, whatever team, when the time comes, get me, they're gonna be getting a guy willing to do anything, a guy who can fit into any system, a guy who's versatile, he can play multiple positions, and someone who gives it all. I'm very passionate about football, so and I hate to lose. So you're getting a competitor, a guy who has a high IQ, and a guy who just wants to go out every day and get better, find ways to get better, who's never complacent. So I feel like there's a room for guys like that in every locker room. So like I said, I can fit into any system, and God willing, I just hope that when time comes, that everything will fall through. So
I mean, there's a part of me, it feels like, I mean, you are going to get that opportunity. I mean, there's a lot that you have going for you. I mean, you got some pretty decent size, at least 6'1", 185. You got a lot of versatility there in the secondary, playing all over. And then, of course, dominating, man, all American. You got all the accolades. So, I mean, you check all the boxes. So it's really just a matter of getting through this season and showing guys once again why you're the best at your level of competition. So,
yes,
wish you
sir.
all the best this year and beyond. All right.
Yes, sir. And thank you for having me, Mr. Jim.
No problem. Trey Morrison, cornerback out of Wingate University. Check this guy out.